Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome. I want to start by thanking the Peabody Essex Museum for once again serving as a venue for a special celebration and occasion in our community. I want to recognize that we're joined by Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, former mayor. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Our State Senator Joan Lovely and our State Representative Manny Cruz. Thank you both. From our City Council, we have City Councilors Alice Merkel, Patty Morcillo, Jeff Cohen, and Meg Stott. And our school committee members, AJ Hoffman and Veronica Miranda, joined as well. Thank you all for being here. And from UNICEF USA, Danielle Goldberg, Krista Becker, and Daisy Cardenas, welcome to Salem for this occasion. We are also, as I think you all noticed, joined by many other community leaders, advocates, and champions for kids in our community. Thank you for joining us for this special event. I'm thrilled to announce that Salem is joining UNICEF USA's Child Friendly Cities initiative as the first city, not just in Massachusetts, but all of the northeastern United States, to make this powerful commitment to our next generation. We're excited to join this special initiative, and when we achieve final certification, to become just the 9th city in America to be so designated. This builds on our work here in Salem, our own commitment and a pledge that we made last November that affirmed our commitment to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. The Child Friendly Cities Initiative, or CFCI, makes communities safer, healthier, more inclusive, and more equitable for every child. Guided by the Convention on the Rights of the Child, the core of CFCI is that every child has the right to be safe, to be heard, to learn, and to thrive. I'm proud of all that's been done already to make our community welcoming and supportive for the youth in Salem, including the establishment of the Salem Children's Alliance, the relaunching of our Youth Commission and the Children's Cabinet. But this partnership with UNICEF USA and working toward the CFCI designation builds on that strong foundation and reflects our ongoing commitment to make Salem a city where every child's presence and voice is valued. Salem and many of the people here this morning have already shown leadership in centering our youth and families, but we're ready to do more. The local leaders from our schools and our nonprofits, elected office, all collaboratively support the needs of the children and teens in Salem. Starting this journey towards CFCI recognition is a significant milestone in these efforts. Partnering with UNICEF USA builds on the work with a globally recognized framework and resources. Over the months and years ahead, we'll engage directly with the children, youth, families, schools, and community partners of our city. We'll do a deep dive into what we can do to make our kids safer in our schools and in our neighborhoods, to provide them more access with consistent high-quality healthcare, education, mental health resources, and recreational opportunities, to lift up their voices and develop a child-friendly action plan that addresses their needs, builds on our strengths, and charts a clear path toward a brighter future for every child. Because recognition as a UNICEF Child Friendly City is not just an award. It's a commitment to sustained action. Our goal is a Salem where every child, no matter their background or circumstances, every child is safe, valued, and supported, and where they have an active part in shaping their own future. This moment is an especially fun time to make this announcement because it also happens to be the 75th anniversary of UNICEF's Trick or Treat campaign. So I'm sure many of you remember as kids, as I do, taking the UNICEF boxes out and about as we went trick-or-treating. And the UNICEF USA team will be on hand tonight for Mayor's Night Out to help share the news with families about this new initiative, to talk with kids, and to help give out trick-or-treat candy as well. So, in addition, Elizabeth Montgomery, Samantha Stevens from Bewitched, was a celebrity spokesperson for UNICEF and a child rights advocate for many years. So it's especially fitting to welcome the UNICEF USA team to Salem on the night of Mayor's Night Out and the start of the Halloween season for this very special occasion. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the city team member who's going to be leading this effort for us, has already been actively engaged in making our community a better place for children. Sarah Roy is the director of the Salem Children's Alliance, a former director of counseling at Salem Academy Charter School, and a passionate advocate for the youth of Salem. Sarah?
Good morning, everyone. Thanks again for being here. And thanks for showing your commitment to Salem's children and families. I especially want to echo Mayor Pangallo's appreciation for our partners from UNICEF USA for joining us. And thank you so much to Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll. You're an early champion for this work through our Salem Our Kids in the initial children's cabinet back when you were in office as mayor, so thank you so much for getting us started. Thank you, Senator Joan Lovely, for being here and for your early support in this initiative, and for Representative Cruz and his incredible son Ezra for joining us. Salem really is a welcoming place for kids, even at press conferences. And thank you to the many community leaders here today that make Salem stronger in every way, shape, and form just by showing up and doing the work that is often not acknowledged in the kind of public eye. I was in your shoes for many, many years, so I understand the value. We're so proud to announce that Salem has been selected to partner with UNICEF through their Child Friendly City initiative. As a social worker who's worked with youth and families for more than 20 years and here in Salem since 2010, I know how much this matters. What excites me most about this initiative is that it's not just about one organization or one leader. It's about all of us across schools, nonprofits, businesses, government, and neighborhoods, working together to ensure that every child has the opportunity to be safe, heard, and supported. We're stepping into this work at a critical time. Across our nation, families and young people are navigating stress, uncertainty, and division. In moments like this, we must invest in the things that we know to be true. Every child has the right to be safe, to be heard, to learn, and to thrive. That dignity and respect are not optional. They are essential. And empowering the next generation is the surest way to build a stronger, more united future. That empowerment begins with a voice. When children and teens learn to speak up, to pay attention to what's happening around them, and to engage with their community, we are cultivating not only confident young people, but stronger, more informed generations of leaders. And that's the heart of this initiative. This work is not about a label, it's about a commitment. Together, we'll ask tough and necessary questions. Do Salem's children feel safe in their neighborhoods? What does safety mean? Do they have equitable access to healthcare, education, and recreation? Do they feel heard by the adults in their lives? The answers will guide us as we build an action plan shaped by youth and families themselves. Salem has always been a place where people show up for each other. By joining this global movement, we're affirming that the commitment is taking it to the next level. This is our chance to create a long-term transformative change for children and families, and we know we're ready. Now, despite being surrounded by dedicated and seasoned colleagues, hearing from young people in our community has always been the North Star that guides and inspires me. In my work leading the Salem Youth Commission, I've been fortunate to hear ideas and concerns from young leaders. One of those leaders is Alexia Coleman, a senior at Salem High School. Alexia serves as a youth commissioner. She's an artist, she's an athlete, and a student. But most importantly, she's a kid from Salem, and she represents exactly why this initiative matters. Alexia is proof that when young people are given the chance to use their voice, they inspire us, they hold us accountable, and they show us the kind of leaders that our future will depend on. And now it's my honor to invite Alexia to share what this partnership means for her.
Thank you, Sarah. Hello, everyone. I'm very honored to be here today. And if you know me, you know that I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, whether it's being on student advisory boards or youth commissions, leading community art workshops, taking leadership roles in my school's Model United Nations Club and Art Honor Society, or convincing my peers to join the wrestling team. I have seen the power my voice has when I have the opportunity to be heard by those around me. Additionally, I'm currently in the process of applying to colleges with plans to pursue international relations and law. So in celebration of this kickoff, I wanted to talk to you all on the importance of youth voice. Youth voice matters. Since kindergarten, it didn't matter if you were a spacey child like me who had forgotten her lunch or my friend facing food insecurity at home. My peers and I all had equal opportunity to have full bellies while we learned. Now, free food does not always equal good food. I want you to take a second and imagine in your minds the typical American school lunch. Now that you have that motif burned into your minds, you can probably relate to why, at the lunch table, I often heard my classmates' daily critique of provided meals. Although seemingly small, insignificant, easy to dismiss. At that point in time, our discomfort, our opinions, our voices weren't heard. But youth voice matters. In high school, I watched my peers campaign to end the reign of stereotypically underperforming school-provided meals. Now, at Salem High, we have a kicker breakfast acai bowl, a pizza so good that our lunch line needs crowd control, and an understanding that one meal a day for most teenagers, especially busy kids or student athletes, doesn't cut it. Because we had adults that cared and listened, administration that saw our words as hefty, significant, meaningful, our ideas, our concerns, our voices were heard. Youth voice matters. I think of all the lunch table debates, the classroom chatter, after-school banter, discussions on bus rides, in cars, on walks. I think of all the moments where elementary, middle, and high school kids alike are sharing their experiences, brainstorming solutions for the holes and gaps found in the systems that impact them daily. Holes where ineffective policy is passed without youth input. Gaps that allow marginalized individuals to slip past support systems. I think of all the significance that lies in allowing every child to learn the power of their voice as a tool for change, as a way to proudly declare the unalienable rights all children possess. Developing a truly child-friendly city should stop after meeting the criteria stated in the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Children. A child-friendly city should be defined by the ways it excels far past the status quo, the ways in which a city implements and listens to the novel, unique, and creative perspectives of children in policy and planning. Recently, in youth commissioner meetings, we discussed how there aren't enough third spaces outside of school that provide teens in Salem equal opportunities for cultural, artistic, recreational, and leisure activity as stated under Article 31 in the Conventions on the Rights of Children. But I know moving forward, together, we will achieve a solution to this problem and countless others. This city's partnership with UNICEF means Salem acknowledges that youth voice matters. Next up, I'd like to invite Senator Lovely to speak.
That was absolutely tremendous. Thank you so much. These are the voices we need to hear from, our young people. Before I begin my brief remarks, Mayor, I can't believe you have a UNICEF box. I remember these. When I was in elementary school. We were challenged to fill them with pennies.
There's a QR code on the side.
Well, there we go. Oh, see, so modern now, so that's perfect. Brings back really fond memories. Thank you all for being here to create this momentous achievement of the City of Salem becoming America's 9th UNICEF Child Friendly City. I want to personally thank Mayor Pangallo for your leadership, members of our City Council and our school committee, my partner, Representative Cruz, UNICEF USA, members of our Salem Youth Commission, all our commissioners, and our Children's Alliance Director for the Salem Youth Commission, Sarah Ward. Sarah, you've worked so hard to get to this day, and we're so thankful. And also a very special welcome, of course, to our former mayor and my friend, Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, who has really laid the foundation also for leading up to this moment. So thank you. And a very special shout out to someone who I wasn't sure who would be here today, Dr. Vissing from Salem State University. Now, I had Dr. Vissing way back in the day, and she got me through statistics. I always tell this story. Anybody who had to take stats, which I think we all had to, it wasn't my strength, but Dr. Vissing, all of your work that you have done over the years with the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. We're trying to get that here to Massachusetts, but we're starting right here in Salem. So we are so proud to be here today. Our young people have grown up amidst a global pandemic that brought with it changes to how our children learn, develop, and play. They've also faced mental health challenges brought on in part by the pandemic-era isolation and the prevalence of social media in their daily lives today. Our children are our future, as we all know, and it is our duty to ensure that they live in communities where health, well-being, and development are paramount. In Salem, we have made impactful efforts to bring our young people to the table in our Youth Commission, in our leadership. Thank you. This includes initiatives like our commission, which ensures that the perspectives of our young people are heard as the city develops and adopts new policies. As public servants, educators, parents, and members of our community, we have shared a responsibility to uphold the rights of our children and ensure that every child has the opportunity to thrive. This means advocating for policies that invest in our children's education, their physical and mental health, and their social development. Salem is a city that understands this, and I have been proud to work alongside our local partners to make our city and our Commonwealth a place where children can thrive. Going forward, I know that our city will live up to this new status and continue to listen and understand the needs and concerns of all our residents, regardless of age, because communities where our children thrive are thriving communities. Thank you for the honor to celebrate our Salem youth, as they are our tomorrow's leaders. Thank you. And now it is my pleasure to invite up Representative Manny Cruz and his son Ezra, our leaders, our future leaders.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Ezra, can you say good morning? No, you want Blippi, I know. Speaking of youth voice, my son demanded Blippi over Miss Rachel, and I listened. That's what a wise parent does. It's such an honor to be with all of you today. I want to thank Mayor Pangallo, Director Roy, Senator Lovely, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, UNICEF USA, and everyone who made this possible. I'm going to be super brief and just tell a story about youth voice in this community. I used to be a young person just like Alexia in this community trying to raise up my voice. I remember very well when Mayor Driscoll first met me at a nonprofit fundraiser event where I kind of crashed the microphone, expressing my desires to serve the public. What I didn't know about that particular moment was that it would be a moment that would define my journey as a young advocate here in the city of Salem. Rather than dismissing my interest in public service, the elected officials who saw that moment used it as an opportunity to cultivate my leadership. I'll never forget the moment that I got to sit next to then Mayor Driscoll, Congressman Tierney, and to have a conversation about my interest in serving as a leader in my community. I asked them both for letters of recommendations to Governor Patrick's statewide youth council, and rather than just saying, yes, I'll write you a letter of recommendation, the mayor said something really special to me at the time, which was, if you don't get on the governor's statewide youth council, I will create a youth commission here and you can serve there. And she did, and I was appointed. So I thank you, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, for your commitment back then and for truly laying the foundation. And Congressman Tierney offered me the same thing. And this shoulder tap that we do for our young people, it's incredibly important. Whether they attend the Salem Public Schools, Salem Academy Charter, Salem State University, our children are our future, but they're also our present. Their perspectives right now matter. At a time in which there's so much uncertainty and people are searching for hope, I know where I find it. Every time our young people visit me at the State House, when I get the opportunity to visit the Youth Commission, I see the enthusiasm and the hope and the ingenuity that our young people bring to the most pressing problems that we have as a community. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that as a father of 2 young children, I see every day in which our littlest learners also have youth voice. As Superintendent Zreich will often remind me, my daughter is the co-principal of the Salem Early Childhood Center, where I just did drop off, and she's always telling me the things that I can do better as a school committee member. So today is about our young people and the way in which they will shape our future. I thank you all for being here and for honoring their voice. And Ezra is reminding me that it's time for us to go sit back down and finish Blippi. Thank you. And it is with great pleasure that I now get to invite my friend, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. What a special way to start my day. Sometimes I feel like I just sleep in Salem these days because I don't get to spend as much time here, and certainly being at this amazing place that we're so fortunate to have at the PEM. And Dominick, thank you so much for the invitation, for the work you're doing. It is terrific to have a local leader who is so committed. This is not performative. Like, we are all in, we've got the receipts to show it, and frankly, this designation means that even more. So really value what you're doing for our community every single day. Senator Lovely, someone who we served together for a number of years. Your commitment has always been strong, whether it's on school budgets or understanding how we can better serve youth and make our city as inclusive, and that those voices not just go off into the wilderness, but really get heard. Appreciate that. Rep Cruz, oh brother. I mean, I remember Collins Middle School with Deval Patrick saying, "Who is that kid?" And then you serving on that youth commission. You've always been a superstar, ensuring that we were thinking about issues and students and populations that were underserved, whose voices didn't always rise up. And I think we're better for it, no doubt about it. Sarah, oh my gosh, hooray. The work you're doing to take these ideas and turn them into action and operationalize them and bring our whole community along is really, really pivotal. Alexia, you're going to take over the world. I mean, this was fantastic. It was great to have you here, to see your ability to understand how you can use your voice to make places better, not just for you, not just for your cohort of friends, but frankly for all. Everyone who's in that school is benefiting from better lunches. Might be too late for me to go get an acai bowl, but sounds pretty exciting. Thank you, Dr. Reich, for leading our schools in such an inclusive way, a commitment to accountability, but making sure all voices matter and are measured. It's always great to be in your company too. And all the local officials who are here, our city councilors, our school committee, who do this work not for the pay, they do this work because they care about this very special place we all live and are so dedicated to making it better. Our public schools, our charter school as well, Salem Academy, it's great to have everybody coming together to really think about and invest in this opportunity to better serve youth. I think, as the mayor mentioned, this means that Salem is America's 9th UNICEF Child Friendly City, and true to Massachusetts fashion, first in the Northeast to reach this incredible milestone. I think being able to lead a regional effort in mobilizing communities to improve young people's health reminds me a little bit about what we did when it came to making Salem an age-friendly city. Truly important, but in this particular approach with our young folks who are transitioning to an adulthood, and we're handing them a world that's getting warmer, that has housing challenges, where as adults we're seeing lots of acrimony and ability to really make policies operationalize into things that benefit all of us. It's so important that we develop not only strong youth voice, but their ability to mobilize that into action and collective action. And having this designation, I think, is really going to help us build a brighter future, not just for Salem, but for the generations of young people who are going to be influenced and who are going to feel like they matter and their voice matters, and that is translated into action that makes places better, whether it's where you work, where you live, where you go to school. It's really, really critical. And when we think about their voices and the ability to impact key areas, whether it's healthcare, education, climate policy, we're already seeing that. We are fortunate to have a state youth-wide commission, and I'm never amazed at the young people who are digging in on issues, who are asking tough questions, who are holding us accountable as well they should, and to be able to invest in that and see that as a meaningful opportunity to make us better. And that's really why those of us are in government, because we want to make the place that we are living in, or the opportunity to influence policy and resources, we want to make it better. And Salem is taking a giant step with this recognition, with this accreditation, to not just talk about it, to not just invest in it in a little way, but to really say we are going to put all of our activities towards making this a priority. We're going to hold ourselves accountable. And by doing that, you know this, Mayor, we're going to bring other communities along. It's a pretty competitive process with cities and mayors, and we're going to do something that's special. And that's why I'm excited to be here to celebrate Salem. Just another example of the ability to lead in this region, in our state. So I really want to congratulate you and thank you all for being here, for what you're doing every day, and for this new initiative that's really going to make sure when we talk about thriving youth, we mean it. So appreciate it. It's my honor to bring up Danielle Goldberg, the Managing Director of Municipal Partnerships at UNICEF USA. I just said to Danielle, wow, you're in Salem at a really exciting time. And there's not a lot of things that I would say I put on the I thought I missed that related to Halloween as a former mayor. Mayor's Night Out is on that list. It'll be a fun night, and you are going to be dressed up as a kitty cat. All right, Danielle, thank you.
Thank you so much. It is a thrilling time to be here when there's so much vibrancy. I think there's always vibrancy here in Salem. Activity and witches' hats. There's no better time to be here at the eve of Halloween, the eve of launching this year's Trick or Treat for UNICEF campaign, which I know we're going to bring more life to it here on the streets. But even more important, to be able to celebrate this new long-term meaningful partnership that's going to be both hard work and heart work, and we see so much of this in the room. This is a partnership that's in it for the long run because change takes time and effort and learning and just putting our heads down, working alongside so many partners. So I just want to thank Mayor Pangallo for your leadership and vision. And Sarah Roy, it's not an easy job to coordinate something that is citywide with so many amazing things happening. It takes a special kind of person, and we're really thankful and excited and hopeful that you're at the helm. And we're just so happy also to show the leadership, to have the Lieutenant Governor Driscoll here, Senator Lovely, as well as Representative Cruz and Ezra. And I get the Blippi. I've got two little ones, and their first names, the way they spelled their names was, how do you spell your name, Adam? B-L-I-P-P-I, Adam. So it goes deep. So thank you. As well as Dr. Vissing, because I've learned so much about child rights advocacy from you. So thank you. And really, it all is about coming together. This is a collective impact initiative. So it takes a lot to break down the silos, but when you know that that's what makes a difference in the long run, it shows. And that also means taking the time, making the extra effort to create the spaces for incredible youth like Alexia. I sat in with the Youth Commission yesterday, and I don't want to say I was blown away because I know the power of youth, but I still am blown away when young people have the spaces to share their hearts and minds and work together. So I've had the privilege of helping launch UNICEF's Child Friendly Cities Initiative, or CFCI, in the United States. We started in 2020, not an easy time, but there's always challenges, so we just continue forward in doing this. And I can say without hesitation, it is one of the most powerful ways to create meaningful change for children at the local level. So CFCI, it's a global UNICEF program. It was launched in 1996, and it works in more than 3,500 municipalities across 40 countries. So you are part of something much larger than the city of Salem, the state of Massachusetts, the United States. You are part of a global movement. Its mission is simple but profound: to put children and young people at the heart of local decision making. And in practice, that means safer streets, healthier neighborhoods, and more inclusive communities where every single child's rights are respected and every single child can thrive. And here in the United States, US cities, they follow a multi-step process. It includes assessing child well-being, not just looking at the data, but what children themselves, young people, everyone, their experiences are. Engaging directly with young people, not as beneficiaries, but as active partners and solution setters. And then creating a local action plan for youth and putting it into action with accountability. And we are so thrilled, really, to welcome Salem as the first city in the Northeast of the US to join this ambitious journey. Salem already has an incredible foundation. We know that. That's why we were drawn to this program. So this is just a chance to build on that strong foundation, continuing to have children and young people as active partners in shaping your community's future. The city's leadership, vision, and commitment to children stand out. And UNICEF USA is so proud to walk alongside Salem every step of the way. So we like to say, you're our evidence partners, you are our champions. We're gonna learn with you, and then we're gonna take those lessons and together spread them across the country and the world. So today's announcement, it's not just a local achievement. As I said, it's a growing movement, and it's a community of hardworking leaders and young people that are working together to make every community better for every child. We have cities across the country, from Minneapolis to Denver to Decatur, and around the world, we are showing the power of putting children's voices and best interests at the center of every decision we make. And as part of this movement, Salem is stepping into this next phase and ensuring children's voices are guiding the city decisions. So it's for this next cycle over the next few years, what are they gonna do? So the first step, besides this initial launch, which is an incredible accomplishment, they're going to be listening closely to children and young people through a situation analysis to understand their experiences and their priorities. Salem is going to be inviting the community to share their ideas, their hopes via community conversations with a special emphasis on what children and young people have to say. Salem will work to create an ambitious but actionable local action plan for children, bringing along the whole community, city leaders, young people, community partners in the process. And they're going to implement the plan. They're going to measure it. We're going to independently evaluate it. And then along the way, then we're going to come back together and announce that Salem is the next UNICEF Child Friendly City. We're going to have the receipts to show for it and the impacts and the learnings that we have all done together to realize that achievement. So this is so much more than a process or recognition. The real impact is going to show in the stronger policies, the more youth-informed programs, and the decisions in Salem that will be shaped with and for children and young people. Their voices will be guiding the city's future, but also our lives right now, today. So in closing, UNICEF USA is just so honored to partner with Salem on this journey. Together, we will ensure that Salem becomes not only a city for children, but a city shaped by children. Thank you so much.
And that concludes our program. I don't know how these things work. I often joke with Mayor Pangallo that I'm just a lady. I'm just a lady that works in schools, works with kids, so a lot of the formalities of this are very new to me, but what a great day. And this is just such a promise of good things to come for years, generations to come, and I hope you all leave with your wheels turning a little bit, thinking about what this can look like. We're building upon the work here in Salem. We're taking it a step further. So thank you all. This concludes our event. I'm sure we'll take photos for the speakers if you'd like to come up. And we'll get out of here soon. Thank you so much, Pam.